So today let's talk about witchcraft, and I'm going to give you most compelling points on how a person becomes a witch or how witchcraft begins. Before we do that, please subscribe, like, and share. Now let's jump into it. Number one, there is what I would like to call hereditary witchcraft. This one is witchcraft that is inherited from a guardian, like a parent or a grandmother or a grandfather. This one is called bloodline witchcraft. Let's say, for instance, your grandfather was a wizard. When he's about to die, he has his own favorite grandchild that he would give either a jacket or a walking stick or some object as maybe an inheritance. As soon as the child receives that object from a grandfather, just know that the moment the grandfather is going to die, the child is automatically going to be a wizard and carry on with the powers of his grandfather. It is also the same thing with grandmothers who are witches. Sometimes they pass on some objects. Maybe it's clay pots or it's a plate or it's whatever that they may pass on to their grandchild. Then whenever they die, the child carries on with the spirit. So how does this happen? The grandchild may not know what's happening. They'll just receive a gift from a grandfather or a grandmother. And when the grandmother or grandfather dies, that's when everything begins to unfold. The spirits are now active on the grandchild. Sometimes the grandchild will get sick to an extent that they will almost die. But when people are moving around from this spiritualist to another spiritualist, they will come across one spiritualist who will know exactly what's happening, and they will tell them that this child has spiritual powers and he needs to be initiated, or he needs to be helped to follow his path. They will tell the grandchild that you have been chosen by your ancestors to do this and this and this in the family. And that's how most people accept whatever that is coming, because it first gives you problems that you will look for help. And when you look for help, then you will be initiated. Because maybe you are sick and you are at a point where you are about to die. Then the Sangoma or the witch doctor will tell you that for you to be healed, you need to bring a goat, you need to bring a black chicken, you need to bring this and that and this and that. And that's how a person becomes a witch. And that's how witchcraft begins. Whatever that happens after that, it's now a secret to that individual. So number two, there is what I call a traditional pact or a ritual. In our cultures as African people, we have these traditions that we do. Like, for an example, totems, we have a lot of rituals that we do as part of our culture that will end up initiating people into witchcraft. Because what you believe is culture, or what you say is a tradition, it's not just a man-made thing. That thing came with spirits. So your traditional people can choose you to become a gomwe in Shona, a spirit medium who execute rituals within the culture. So people now will come to consult everything they need. They will come to consult to you so that you can speak to the spirits. So you will be a mediator between the spirits and your people. So the people of your culture will choose you based on maybe the star that God has given you. They will choose you to lead the family spiritually. They will choose you to become a spiritual medium, and they will make you do a pact that you do not know, a covenant that you do not know, and they will initiate you through a ritual. Maybe they will choose you to do a ritual. For instance, let's say it's rain season, but the rain is not coming. What do? The cultural people will gather and say, what shall we do? Let's go to the spiritual people. And then the spiritual people will say, you need to sacrifice a goat. And this young boy here, or this young woman here, has to sacrifice that goat or sacrifice that chicken. So the fact that they have chosen you to sacrifice a chicken so that rain would come, or so that the community would benefit from whatever spiritual thing they are looking for. So that moment you are chosen, you have been initiated into a pact or in a covenant. There is also traditional rituals like circumcision, like the Xhosa. I think with other African cultures, they do this ritual where they circumcise boys. They take the boys to the mountain and they do whatever they do with the boys. Those are rituals that will initiate people sometimes into witchcraft. Not a witch that flies on a broom or a witch that eats human meat. No, I'm not talking about that kind of witchcraft. I'm talking about a witch. Maybe they will make you a vehicle for witches. They will ride you every night they are traveling, or they will make you sleep with witches at night. Witches need to do spiritual sex for them to continue going. That's why you see in some families there are boys who are not married. There are men who never marry because they are being used by witches. Maybe the community witches are using that person to sleep with that person. So a witch is not what you think, like a witch is a grandma or a grandfather who has long teeth or who is without teeth, who's been eating human meat. No, a person can be a witch for 20 years without them knowing, but maybe they are using you as transport, or maybe they are using you as a husband, or maybe they are using you as a wife. Sometimes the reason why some people are not married is not because they don't want women. No, it's because they have been spiritually married, because they are in a pact that they do not know about. So yes, those things of going to the mountains and circumcise children, yes, that may initiate your children into spiritual covenants and witchcraft. My number 3 point is what I would like to call spiritual infection. Most of you know what are called STDs, which are sexual transmitted diseases. But I'm here to break it down to you that they are what are called STDs, which are sexual transmitted demons. So when you sleep with somebody who's a witch, or when you sleep with somebody who has mermaid spirits, when you sleep with Satanist, when you sleep with that person, there is STDs, sexual transmitted demons, that are transferred to you. And you automatically become a witch by just sleeping with a person. Sleeping with a person is enough for you to be a witch. The reason now you've been dreaming flying, you've been dreaming eating, you've been dreaming snakes and all those things that you've been dreaming. Underwater, you see dogs chasing you. They have initiated you into what I call unconscious witchcraft. And this unconscious witchcraft was caused by spiritual infection. It's not only sexual transmitted demons. Spiritual infection also can come through food that you eat in your dreams. So if you have been dreaming eating, you have been also initiated into witchcraft. Though you may not have seen yet the signs that you are a witch, but if you have dreamt eating, you need to pray and repent unto God that I have eaten things that I do not know, or I have eaten, even confess I have eaten human meat, because what you were eating something so bad, and that initiated you into witchcraft, unconscious witchcraft. So yes, eating in the dreams or having sex in your dreams has initiated many people into witchcraft, unconscious witchcraft. Does it happen sometimes that sometimes you dream like things are chasing you and then you begin to fly? It's not all the times that dream is good. Sometimes that dream means witches have taken you into their own witchcraft battles, and you are being attacked also because you are part of the group that is being attacked. And now you are flying, you are running away. But your running away is not because God has caused you to fly so that you can escape from witches, but it's because you are being used by witches and they are flying, running away with you. You are seeing what is chasing you, but you don't know why they are chasing you. They are chasing the witches that are on your back. But that is not the case all the time. Sometimes it can be a godly dream where you are running away from something, but sometimes it's not a godly dream. So spiritual infection is my number 3, where a person is initiated through sexual transmitted demons, through sex in dreams and food that you eat in the dreams. So my number 4 is what I would like to call, what they call now in modern day, they call it spiritual awakening. Some people are deceived into this so-called spiritual awakening where they are going to experience things, they are going to be told to go to a specific place and this and that. When you go to that specific place has been dedicated and it's an altar for witches and Satanists. Maybe it's in the mountain. They will tell you, okay, let's go pray in that mountain. Let's go pray in that forest. But the person you are going with maybe is a witch and they know what they are doing. They are going to take you exactly where they gather at night and they will initiate you without you knowing. So this spiritual awakening has to do with nature. They want to hide with natural things like you take these herbs, you do this, you do that, you do this. They tell you that this medicine, these are natural herbs. Forget about the pills. Don't take these pills. Take these herbs. These herbs will help you to grow your manhood. These herbs will make you strong on bed. All those kind of natural. That is another trap. People are being initiated through spiritual awakening, through these natural things that they want to offer to you. And whenever you hear that this is natural medicine, 100% this, 100% that, medicine is not bad. But the people who are giving you, most of them, how they've discovered that this thing can heal, they discovered through spiritual means. It's not just science. It's not just somebody who just decided to take the mopane leaves and concoct them and drink them. It's not like that. They were told that by a spirit. And the spirit, yes, for sure, you can take that and be healed. But the moment you are healed, you have brought in a spirit inside you. So that spirit will make you become a witch. And I'll tell you later what is a witch, because some of you don't know. And many of you, and many people, even who are watching this video, are witches without knowing. So when I give the definition, be there, because you may be a witch without you knowing. So these natural things where people talk about natural medicine, natural this, natural guchu, natural this, be careful of who is giving you that medicine. It's good that if you know that, okay, this mopane tree does this mopane tree does this mopane tree does this, I know. It's good to know that for yourself. But if you know through spiritual means, demons are going to use you to initiate people into witchcraft. Let's move forward to the next point. There is also witchcraft that is caused by trauma or maybe near-death experience, where a person almost died and they went into a spiritual realm and they came back. But when they went into the spiritual realm, they got captured by spirits and they did whatever they did with the spirit of that person, and the person came back a witch. Same as what happens with a person who was captured by mermaids and they take that person to a spiritual world and they bring back that person as a sangoma. That's the same thing that happens when a person has a near-death experience. Some people have near-death experiences that did not see Jesus after all. But there are other near-death experiences where people saw Jesus. But what happens is that whatever you saw there, you'll come back believing in that. So there are people who did near-death experiences who saw whatever spirits they saw and they came back believing in whatever they saw and they became witches. And there are also people who became Christians because they had near-death experiences where they saw Jesus. Another point, I think this is my 6th point. Another point a person becomes a witch or witchcraft begins. Sometimes you dream somebody cutting your body with maybe a razor. You know, there's those, what they call witchcraft marks. In Shona, we call them nyora. Sometimes a person would wake up with those 2 marks or maybe 3 marks on your forehead or on your hand or on your body or on your back. That's why some of you, when you go to those prophets, they will show you that you have 2 marks on your back. But those marks, you don't know how they came to you. But those marks were put on you when you were asleep at night by witches. They had access to you because you were not protected by the angels of God. Why? Because you were so far away from God. Sometimes you received those marks when you went to a sangoma. Sangoma gave you a marks maybe on your forehead or on your arms or on your legs or wherever. And then they put some powder on that, those 2 marks or whatever marks they cut with their razor. That sometimes they are putting witchcraft in your body. Be careful of those things. Let's move to the next point. So there is also what I would like to call hand-to-hand witchcraft. You can be given something, a souvenir. You can be like those African objects that you buy, or not only African objects, even the European objects, even the stones that people bring from overseas. Even there are things that when you go to another country, they would give you maybe a nice carved stone, or they would give you a wooden whatever carved thing. Most tourists will receive witchcraft when they get things from countries they do not know. So be careful when you visit other countries. Be careful to not bring things from other countries to your home. You are bringing witchcraft to your home without you knowing. It's not all the times, but most of the times. So that, I call it hand-to-hand witchcraft. Then my other point, I think this one is number 8, is what I call the ancestral calling. Sometimes you see a person with problems, and then when they go to a sangoma, they say, you have an ancestral calling. Your ancestors want you to do this. Sometimes even your ancestors are coming to you. They are telling you things. Okay, before we died, we wanted, this one killed us, or before we died, this happened, before we died, go to this. And sometimes what you are being told is true, but what is telling you is not your dead relative. What is telling you is a spirit that is taking the image of your dead relative. Spirits have abilities to do that. Let me prove to you. Whenever you had sex in the dreams, sometimes you dreamt you were having sex with your crush, somebody you love, or your ex in your dreams, right? But were you doing it with your ex? No, it wasn't your ex. But the spirits knew the person you loved or knew the person you once had sex with, and they used the person's image, because if they had come in their form, you would not want to have sex with them, even in the dreams. So they took a form of a person that you know so that you would accept them. So this ancestral calling is when your ancestors visit you. When they come to you and say, we are your ancestors, or you even see your mother, you even see your grandfather, you even see your father or your auntie or any of your family members telling you things day and night. That is not your ancestors. That is a demon. Yes, I'm telling you, that is a demon. I know Pan-Africanists will fight me for this and say, you are calling your ancestors your demons. No, dead people have no access to the living. They can never come back to the living unless somebody brings them back. Dead people can only come back to the living when they are brought back by a living person. That's why you see most dead people that come back, they come back only when there's a problem. They will never come back in peace to say, there is God there. There is an enemy coming your way. They only come back for vengeance and fights. Some Bible believers, some Christians will say, no, that does not exist. The dead, there's no connection to the living. Yes, you are right. But the Bible forbids communicating to the dead. Why does the Bible forbid that if it does not exist? Which means it exists. We can see in the Bible it happened with the witch of Endor. She conjured up the spirit of Samuel. It wasn't a ghost. It wasn't anything else. It wasn't a demon. It was Samuel himself, but his spirit was conjured up by a witch. So yes, the spirit of a dead person can be conjured up by the people who are alive. Whenever you see a dead person coming back to the living, just know they have been brought back by the living. That's why they come back for vengeance and fights only. My father died of food poison, and in my entire life, I always wanted my father to come back to me, because people would say, he did not come to you because you did not believe. It's not like that. I believed it. I wanted him to come back, but he never did. And when I read the Bible, that's when I believed the Bible. The dead have no connection with the living, but the dead can be only brought back by the living. So these ancestral callings, be careful of them. So I almost forgot about this one. Who else becomes a witch, and when does it begin? Any person who hates somebody is automatically a witch. Any person who is jealous of somebody is automatically a witch. So now the spirit of witchcraft is not yet there, but the fact that you are hating, the fact that you have jealousy, you are inviting already the spirit of witchcraft. Because what is witchcraft all about? Witchcraft is all about causing harm to other people, causing misfortunes to other people. It's all about destroying what a human being is building. So if you are doing that already, without being initiated, you are initiating yourself into witchcraft for hating somebody. Because if hatred and jealousy are fully matured, these two will make you a full professional witch. Because the other reasons why other people go to look for powers is because they want to revenge. Maybe somebody killed someone in your family. Maybe somebody did something you did not like and you want revenge. Maybe you go to a prophet, you go to a sangoma, you go to somebody, and they give you whatever they give you to go and revenge. That's witchcraft already. That's why I'm here to tell you that even a pastor who does go back to sender is not of God, is using witchcraft. Whatever he gave you to go put on your farm or on your land to catch witches, if he is giving you an object to go dig your yard and bury it in your yard, that's witchcraft. God does not want you to revenge, because you also wronged someone and that somebody did not revenge you. God wants you to forgive people, not to revenge people. Vengeance is for the Lord, not you. Not you and your sangoma, not you and your prophet. Leave it for the Lord. So people become witches because they hate and they have jealousy. That's why other people will go to a sangoma, to a prophet. They would go there to seek to destroy somebody. If you yourself in your heart, you know that you don't like people around you to succeed, you are automatically a witch. If you have somebody you hate in your heart, you are automatically a witch. Though you are a low rank witch, but you already are a witch. And the more you remain like that, the more you are going to keep inviting more and more and more and more spirits of that type, of that sort of hatred or that jealousy. So many people become witches because they want vengeance. They want to avenge. Somebody stole from you and you don't know who did, but you loved something that you lost. Somebody maybe killed your family member and you want the revenge. You want the killers of your family members to also die. You are already becoming a witch. Trust me. I know it might be your child that was killed. I know it might be your property that was stolen. But the moment you want to avenge through spiritual means, not prayer, you can't even do a prayer that is against another human being. And if you're always negative against another person, saying bad things, cursing somebody is witchcraft itself. If you curse people, you are stupid, you are that, even your children, you are automatically a witch and you are inviting more spirits of witchcraft in your life. So stay away from hatred, stay away from jealousy, stay away from go back to sender prophets or sangomas, stay away from all that. Be a peaceful person and you will stay away from witchcraft. Now, my last point is what I would like to call self-initiation. People initiate themselves by even willingly go to a sangoma or by reading a book. A person can go into a library and buy a book that talks about witchcraft and be initiated, because whenever they were reading that book, they were conjuring spirits and spirits were coming into their life. The words you speak can conjure spirits, can cause spirits. That's why I will always advise you to be always positive in your speaking, because the words you speak will invite spirits. So if you speak good, you invite good spirits. If you speak bad, you invite bad spirits. So the books you read also matters. If it speaks bad, it will invite bad spirits. If it speaks good, like the Bible, it will invite the Spirit of God. So this self-initiation, people do a lot of things. People Google, people watch videos on how to become a witch. That's what I call self-initiation. So there are books that guides people on how to bewitch somebody. People see witchcraft on television. People see witchcraft on YouTube, everywhere. They can study and learn about witchcraft and become witches. That is my last point. Now let's go to the definition of a witch to me. A witch is just a human being who is possessed by a demon. Simple as that. The reason why I'm telling you this is so that you know that what you think witches do that is abnormal, it's not them doing it. It's the spirit in them. That's why I would always advise that if your parent, if your father, your grandfather, your grandmother is a witch, pray for them because they are demon possessed. If they were eating human meat, raw human meat, or drinking blood, if you are able to cast out that demon and that demon is out, they will not be able to drink even raw blood of a chicken. So your parent, your relative, your family member, they are possessed by a demon, or not demon, but demons. So when you hear that this person is flying, is a witch, they are actually not flying, but they are being carried by things that can fly. For they themselves, they are seeing only that basket, or they are seeing only that broom. But below that broom is a spirit that is carrying them, and that spirit is the one flying with the person. Because the spirit needs physical work to be done. So it has to carry a body, because that spirit cannot do that work itself, because spirits are limited to do some things. So they need a physical body to do certain things. So that's why witches are being used. So if you have a relative who is a witch, forgive them and pray for them. Many witches, I can guarantee you, they don't want to be witches, but they don't know the way out. So by you praying for them, by you casting out a demon in them, challenge them, visit them and challenge them in prayer. Pray for them and cast out those devils. I'm telling you, they want you to save them. They want help. How do you think a mother will eat all her children? Do you think that's normal? It's not. They are under an influence. They are possessed by spirits. So a witch is a person who is possessed by demons that causes illness on people, that causes misfortunes on people. Demons that does not like human beings. They are all up against human beings. It's not that woman. It's not that uncle. It's not that grandfather. It's not that daughter. It's not that woman. It's spirits. That's why the Bible says we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but with principalities and rulers of darkness. So your enemy is not a human being. Your enemy are demons. Your enemy are spirits. Don't fight your mother. Don't fight your father. Don't fight your grandfather. Don't fight your grandmother. Visit her and pray for her. Visit him and pray for him. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Mutarani signing out.